best football show in Africa. It is Niger Superfans Forum. Welcome. My name is Olafemi Ashalu. Wherever you are watching us live from around the world, we are here and back again to talk African football. James Agberebi is here. We will be doing this together once again today. James, you are welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Femi. Always a pleasure being on the show.
Okay, all right, James. So much to talk about, but where else than to talk about the 2022 CHAN now? It's in the final now, and of course, like I said, I saw Algeria right from the beginning. I saw Algeria as a favorite since Morocco wouldn't be there to defend their title, so they'll be playing final on Saturday with Senegal. I think it's going to be a cracking one, but all the same, I still think the North Africans will get that one. James, of course, the semi-final pairings, I don't know why it went for you. We knew that on paper, Algeria was going to get the best out of Nigeria, though nobody saw that 5-minute thrashing coming. But Senegal versus Madagascar, I thought the the Madagascars were going to maybe put up a better fight than that.
Well, Femi, I always said it that there are always we still have minnows in football, no matter how you want to look at it. The big teams will always be the big teams, and that was what Algeria showed against Niger Republic, and Senegal too did the same thing to Madagascar. That they are still the big teams, and these teams, with all due respect to them, but I think they put them in their places, especially the game between Algeria and Niger Republic. It just shows that, I mean, the Nigerian side has struggled for goals. They've been making 1-0 victories, but against the Niger Republic, they hammered them 5-0. I mean, that was why it's so painful, especially when you remember that the same Niger Republic that defeated the Black Galaxies. I mean, it just goes to show how bad that Black Galaxies team is. I mean, if you can lose to minnows like Niger Republic, and Algeria just showed us how to go about it when it comes to playing against these small teams. I mean, they just put them in their place that they are a small team, and they proved it. So I mean, it's sad one for the Black Galaxies. Because I had hopes in them that they are going to only get to the semi-final, but unfortunately, the 2 games they lost were against minnows, teams we didn't expect them to lose against. But unfortunately, they're out.
You took that out of my mouth. Of course, we're going to talk about the Black Galaxies because a former chairman of Ghana Football Association, talking about Dr. Yaho, he has come out to say that, or to claim that 75% of the Black Galaxies players who played at the 2022 CHAN tournament maybe were 35 years and above. And he claimed that age was the main factor why the Black Galaxies didn't perform at the tournament. And quickly, I take a quote from an interview granted. He says 75% of our players are definitely 35 years plus. He said, I'm telling you, and we can verify that using MRI scan. They look even old if you look at them in the face. James, it is a serious claim, but this is Africa, and sometimes, like they say, it is what it is. If you're going to a competition that, though there is no age grade, it is not an age grade competition, but you're expected to take maybe the best, from your team, maybe even, of course, the younger ones. But as he claimed now, if that is actually the true situation of things, 35 more players who are older than 35 years to a competition, what do you really expect to get?
One thing, this is not even an age grade competition, just like what you pointed out. But the aspect of that age, well, is what is in their passport that CAF and the appropriate bodies followed. So whether they are 35 or over, nobody cannot prove anything. Maybe just talking out of anger. I believe that there are a lot of young players in that team. It's just that they just didn't click. That's just the sad part. This is a team that we followed during the qualifiers. They did very well. They took out Nigeria, took out Benin Republic. They played well in some of the friendly games, but unfortunately.
So what do you think will have happened? What do you think will have happened along the way? Will it be the issue of the bonus?
Yeah, that could be another issue. The issue of the bonus that we had. Then the red card to Daniel Afri. Maybe it also took also affected the team because it's one player that was very key for the team. So to now lose such a player in a tournament like this, I mean, there's a way it's going to affect the team. Maybe the coach built his team around him. Unfortunately, the suspension was part of the reason why they didn't do well. But this age thing, I mean, the man cannot prove anything. Like I said, he's just talking out of anger, annoyance. So when somebody is angry, you say all kinds of things. So like I said, it's sad. I didn't expect them to get knocked out at this in the quarterfinals. But I think they're just about going back now and try to regroup. And I don't want to believe everybody in that team is bad. It's not possible. No matter how terrible a team performs at the tournament, there are certain players that will stand out. So for me, just going back to drawing board and then make sure they are able to recover from this disappointment. Because for me, it's a very big disappointment. I was expecting them to at least get to the semi-final.
Okay.
For me, what he said is just saying, like I said, he's just saying it out of annoyance. He's angry, So that's just it. You forgot about that issue. I mean, I don't buy into that because he has no proof about that. So that's just it.
Okay, but I would think that as a former chairman of the Ghana Football Association, perhaps he would have maybe at least some substance in what he's saying.
He should have come out. He should have come out. If really he loved the team, then he should have come out before. Even when the team was together, when they are playing qualifier, then you have raised doubts about their age. That, but because they just crashed out now, you're just. If they have won the competition, we would have come out to say all these things that he's saying now. So you have to look at it from the other angle. So that's just it.
Okay, James, we're still talking about issues in Ghanaian football, and a president of the Sport Writers Association of Ghana, talking about SWAG, he has come out to lament that I'm talking about Kwabena Yeboah. He has come out to lament the decline in Ghana football over the years, and he said it's been 41 years since Ghana last won the AFCON. It's been 23 years since Hearts of Oak dominated on the continent, and it's been 40 years since Kotoko ruled Africa. And it was like opening a complete book of lamentation. But again, James, if you look at it, I think the problem that we have in the sub-Saharan Africa, and I think also part of Central Africa, if not even in the entire countries in the Central Africa, is the developmental football. It's not like the talent isn't there, but it's just the provision of basic facilities. And while preparing for the show, I read something online about how Morocco are able to get to where they are right now. And if you look at it, the president, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation president, Fauzi Legja, was talking about how they're able to get there. And quickly, James, I'll read. He said, in the 12 regions of Morocco, we have a team piloting regional development, starting with detection of talent, which must go through training centers of clubs. I said that's why we have made a huge effort to provide clubs with training centers. The region centers are the same as the national center, but in miniature. This is our conception of the development cycle, which begins with the detection in mass soccer, which must move via the clubs to the regional center and the national center of excellence. He was talking about that. And James, also, let me shock you or blow your mind. As a reminder, the kingdom now has more than 200 synthetic turf fields, which meet the standard, about 20 stadiums with natural turf and lightning standard. They also boast of 5 regional training centers and the famous Mohammed VI football complex, a unique infrastructure in Africa. These facilities cover almost 30 hectares and offer state-of-the-art equipment following FIFA standards, making this jewel of Moroccan soccer one of the most important and efficient sports centers in the world. James, this is not rocket science. It was deliberate. We all talk about what Morocco did at the 2022 FIFA World Cup. Though people may say, okay, at least what they are doing at home doesn't really reflect in the World Cup because only 4 home-based players went to the World Cup. But look inwards. Look at the club level. Now look at, of course, they hosted the Women's Championship last year, and we saw what they did. James, these things are not rocket science. If you do not put these things in place, if you're not deliberate, you just continue to open a book of lamentation.
I mean, sometimes I'm not too carried away with all these facilities and whatever. Fine, they are good and they help football development. But how many times have we seen African teams who went to a particular World Cup, they did well, and the next edition we expect them to make a progress. By the end of the day, what happened? They either crash out in the first round or they don't even qualify for the tournament at all, you know. So for me, the Black Stars, to me, I think they've just been unlucky when it comes to winning tournaments. You know, so it's not as if Morocco they have the better talents than the Black Stars. I mean,
James, sorry, maybe I should bring this in so that you have a complete picture of what I'm trying to say. A former Accra Out of Hope assistant coach, Joseph Asare Ebediako, has alleged that national team coaches in Ghana depend on bribes to survive because they are not paid. And I'll read the quote so that you understand where I'm actually going to. He said, I remember when I went to watch a match and I met one of the national team coaches and he asked me for money, but I was shocked because he was in the national team. He said, but he told me they are not paid. They know agents will pay money for their players to be invited, so they are not bothered about them not being paid by the GFA. He said the coaches are complicit because they accept bribe from agents to invite their players to the national team, and that is altering our game because players who have the talent but do not have anyone to pay for them do not get a chance. James, this is straight. Now, they are deliberate efforts. Seriously, one, when you provide the facilities and you allow the right persons who have the talent to use these facilities, James, there is no way your football in that country will not develop. And that is particularly where I'm driving now.
I mean, is this the first time they are talking about bribe in Ghanaian football? Well, it's not the first time now. But there are not coaches seeking bribe when they got to the final in 2010, 2015 when they lost to Cote d'Ivoire. Haven't we also been hearing about bribes in Nigerian football? At the end of the day, we went to win the AFCON in 2013. You know, so like I said, Ghana, the talents are there. It's just for them to just okay. We are talking about a bribe here in Africa. What about in Europe, Italy, and Spain in particular? We're hearing about all kind of scandal in Italian football. Especially the Juve. I mean, we are all witness to what's happening now in Juve. I mean, bribes. Even in the year they won the World Cup in 1982, we all also heard about scandal. 2006
But
scandal.
we're talking about developmental. We're talking about developmental football here. We're talking about developmental football, not even the club level. Now we're talking about developmental football and how it translates into development in the national team football. That's what we're talking about now, James.
Femi, you know what? We can say this from now to that kingdom come, and nothing will change. I'm telling you. So, it's a tough, very complicated issue. For we've been hearing things like that also in Nigeria, yeah. And I think it's not left for the GFA now to sit back and take steps, you know, so that they'll be able to call if truly there are those who have been preventing the country from developing their football. I mean, so it's now left for the GFA to step in and do the needful. Because, I mean, for the person who came out with this lamentation, he has a point. 1982, I mean, that's a way long time for a big country like Ghana to have won the AFCON. There are some people who are, what am I saying, even most people who are supporting the Black Stars, they were not born when they last won the AFCON. They've not even witnessed them lifting any major tournament. You know, the closest they came was the 2010 and 2015, and they lost out, you know. So the GFA have a big work now to do. And because you cannot look away from such allegations that there are those who normally collect bribe. Because when you keep doing that, I mean, it affects the development of the country. You know, but like I said, and they are talented players in Ghana. You know, they have what it takes. The Super Eagles that won the AFCON in 2013. I mean, to me, it was not even about planning. It was just sheer determination. You know, willpower and everything that made them to win the AFCON. You know, so and we can, just like what you said, we cannot just sweep this under the carpet. If somebody is coming out to say this is one of the reasons, I mean, the GFA have the work to do. It's their duty now to look for ways to cover all these things. Because Ghana is too big not to have won the AFCON for You should make it 41 years now. I mean, that's too much. Zambia, what's the ranking when it comes to Zambia's ranking in world football? They won the AFCON in 2012. Even Libya won the CHAN in 2014. There are some countries who are not even up to Ghana in terms of football, but they've been winning things. So I mean, so they have their work cut out, and the earlier they start doing things to improve the game in the country, the better for them.
Okay, James, rightly, just like you said, I think these people they have a point because the under 20 African under 20 championship will be kicking off in Egypt later this month. The Ghana wouldn't be there. Later on the 17th will be starting. They wouldn't be there. Then later we'll be having Women's World Cup. They would also be there. I think there is something fundamentally wrong. It wouldn't be just that they are not. It would be that they are not doing something right. If you ask me, I think I really agree with what this former assistant coach of Atufo actually talked, Joseph Asari, that some national team coaches actually take bribe from players because James, no matter how bad it could be, that Ghana will miss under 17, under 20, the Women's World Cup. At the same time, I think something is fundamentally wrong. Okay, James, let's talk about of course, some African players moved over the weekend.
Yeah.
Even to before the deadline of the January transfer window. And it was very, very nice to see a number of Ghanaian players, of course, moving from the former clubs. We have Antoine Semenyo, who moved from Bristol City, now with Bournemouth in the Premier League. We also have Kamaldeen Sulemana, who has joined, of course, Southampton. In that one, I think I want to believe that Salisu Mohammed had maybe an influence because I also heard that Everton were also really, really interested. As a matter of fact, a report said he agreed with both Everton and Southampton, but eventually decided to join Southampton. And also have our own Paul Onuachu, who also from Genk. I didn't see that coming, James. On deadline day, I didn't see that coming. But he has also moved to the Premier League with Southampton.
Yeah, I think better late than never for Onuachu. This is somebody who has reigned supreme in the Belgian Jupiler League. He has won the Ebony Golden Boot. He has won several awards, for his goal-scoring exploit. So it was time for him to at least take his trade elsewhere, which he did, going to Southampton. But my fear for him is he just joined a struggling side, himself and Sulemana. So I don't know the kind of whether you have that patience for them to able to acclimatize, because this is the Premier League. The difference between the Premier League and the Belgian League is far, far, far apart. Because for him to, honestly, because coming to the Premier League and joining a decent side like Southampton, I mean, and they would have followed his record in Belgium. I mean, all eyes would be on him, So I just hope that Sulemana and Onuachu are able to acclimatize quickly, because you don't have the luxury of going for summer break. The preseason, you don't have that. You just hit the ground running. So I just hope they are able to get into the team and do their thing, because the team is under pressure. They are trying to avoid relegation. Southampton is one of the.
I was going to say that. But James, in that at that point, let me cut in. How sensible do you think that the two moves are for the two players? Because at the moment, Genk is leading the Belgian Pro League, and Onuachu has been firing on all cylinders in Belgium. Now moving from a team that is looking to win the league and at the bottom, struggling now, trying to keep their heads above the water. And also for Sulemana from Rennes in the French league, coming to the same Southampton. How sensible do you think the moves are?
Femi, when it comes to transfers, it's about the club, it's business. So if good money comes in, I mean, the club will say, okay, they can't just wave it aside because they are fighting for want to win the league title. I mean, you have to still balance the books. We have seen teams who won trophies in the past, and they are into administration now because of because they couldn't balance the books. So I mean, look at how much they bought Onuachu, £18 million or so. So I mean, when the money is good, I mean, you just have to go ahead with it. Look at the guy, the Mikhailo Modric guy. who joined Chelsea from, everybody thought he was going to Arsenal. But at the end of the day, Chelsea paid the cash from Chelsea was very tempting. I didn't expect Shakhtar Donetsk to wave it aside because the guy wanted to go to Arsenal. It's business. I mean, you know what the account balance will be saying now. So when it comes to transfers, it's not as if the players don't have
It's about the
a
money,
say. Yeah, it's not as if the players don't have a say. But sometimes, I mean, you are under contract with the club, and if they see a good deal, I mean, you just have to go. So like I said, it's pure business, and I believe that's what the gang took advantage of. Fine, we have wanted Onuachu to stay back and win the league, but I mean, he has done it all in Belgium. So he feel maybe
I
going
paid the dues, yeah.
to England. I know he has always had the ambition of wanting to play in England, and he has the opportunity. But fortunately, he's joining a team that is struggling, that is threatened by relegation. Himself and Sulemana. So I just hope that they're able to hit the ground running and help the team to avoid relegation, because it won't make sense if after joining them you now end up playing championship football, because these are national team players, so that just.
So that was why I asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
So, me,
of course,
sorry,
Southampton
like I
manager.
said, sensible move for the club in terms of the financial aspect. For the players, also, I mean, joining that club, I mean, it will also, how much are they paying them from where they are coming from compared to the Premier League? I mean, I believe they're going to get good money in the Premier League, so it's win-win for everybody.
Okay, so regarding Kamaldeen Sulemana, Southampton manager, I said this is another really positive addition for us this month. He said we've obviously been keen to add a little more potency to the side, and Kamaldeen is someone who does that for us. I think they really rely on his space in the Premier League because that is very, very key. And Southampton will do everything they can to get out of the relegation, the relegation zone. So now, James, we have it. Ghanaian players in the Premier League. I don't know if you can actually mention them, but quickly let's go through them. Of course, we have a Jordan, of course, Ayew, who plays with Crystal Palace. You have Thomas Partey, who also always comes to the party. Then we have Kamaldeen now with Southampton. Then we have Tariq Lamptey at Brighton. Then we have Jeffrey Schlupp at Crystal Palace also. Then Antoine Semenyo, like we said, he also moved from Bristol City to Bournemouth. So I think the Premier League is becoming the place for a Black Stars player. Now, I don't think there's no any African country who has as many concentration of players as Ghana right now in the Premier League, James. 8 of them.
Well, in the Premier League, when it comes to the top league in the world, I mean, you cannot rule out Premier League. The attraction is very high, very, very appealing. You see a lot of players coming to the Premier League because everything is there. Action packed, exciting league, full of drama. Good money also. So.
Yeah, you're talking about you're mentioning the ranking now.
So that's just it, and just hope that they hit the ground running, because we've seen players who after they made the move, they could not do anything, and the fans, once the expectations are not met, I mean, they'll just jump on your back and start giving you hell. So I just hope these guys that just moved now, they'll be able to do something for themselves and for the club side, because all eyes will be on them. Because when you make when a player is signed, that expectation is always there, because they will feel that for the club to go for this player, which means there's something special about this player, and it's now left for that player to now do something to get that confidence from the club. So like I said, all the best to all the guys who just moved to England, and we hope that they're able to meet up the expectation.
Okay. Quickly, James, time is not on our side, but let's talk about two players who were looking to move, two African players who couldn't move. Talking about Sofiane Amrabat, who wanted to move from Fiorentina to Barcelona before the deadline, but that didn't happen. And I think the most disappointed fellow right now in the world would be Hakim Ziyech. He had even passed the medical with PSG. He had agreed personal terms to go on loan, but according to PSG, they said Chelsea kept sending the wrong documents. James, I think this was deliberate. I think that had to be deliberate, because when Chelsea was trying to get the Enzo Fernandez deal over the line before the deadline passed, they didn't send wrong documents. So why did they have to send wrong documents when it came to that of Hakim Ziyech to PSG?
No, I don't think they wanted Hakim Ziyech to leave. I think it was deliberate. no, we can't prove anything. But I mean, it's not possible for a big club like Chelsea
But he was
to
also
make
not playing. He wasn't happy.
such
So why keep
such
an happy
such.
player?
That is one thing about clubs. If they want to frustrate you, they will frustrate you, and there's nothing you can do because you still have a contract with them. If they don't agree with the club that you plan to join, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You can only lament, do all sorts. By the end of the day, nothing. So for me, that's just it's sad because for a player who feels he's not playing much and they wanted to move to another club where he feels they have the chance of getting having more regular playing time. Unfortunately, I don't know, the antics from Chelsea, that's what I would call it. I mean, three times. You said you sent the document three times, the wrong document. I mean, Chelsea, they are one of the top clubs in Europe. For them to make such mistake, I don't know. There's some people from some quarters, they said maybe because they are so focused on the Enzo Fernandez deal that they didn't remember that, that someone wants to move to another club. So they kept sending the wrong document. But I mean, which means the implication of this now, you are going to have a disgruntled player who can go as far as, unsettling the dressing room, which will not be very good. So
At the
I
moment now,
mean,
he's stranded. According to reports, he's actually
yeah,
stranded.
exactly. So I don't know the kind of mindset we have going to training on the bench. And I think that was one of the reasons why Man City had to loan Cancelo to Bayern Munich because he was becoming a disruptive influence in the team. So they just had to let him go because no team, no coach.
According to Pep Guardiola. According to Pep Guardiola.
So for me, then it's a sad one for Hakim's Ziyech because he really wanted to move, and unfortunately that didn't materialize. So you just have to buckle down. Who knows? Maybe he can just become the star of this Chelsea team. Sometimes you never can tell some of these players when they just feel okay, let me just focus on my football, and at the end of the day, they become something else on the pitch. So let's just hope that we're able to
Okay.
recover from this and move on.
Okay. James, it's 49 days to the resumption of the 2024 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and we've not heard anything from the GFA about who will replace Otoado as the Black Stars coach. 49 days and no word yet, James.
Well, maybe they are strategizing and they're trying to be careful not to hire somebody who will not fit in, who will not be able to handle the player. Because right now the players are there. It's now left for them to get a sound coach who will be able to harness these
But
players together.
if the rumors that we've heard are true, that you have a Chris Hughton, you had
Steve
Hector
McLaren.
Cooper, and so what is there? What is there to remain a secret?
Well, I think they're trying. Maybe they're trying
Or
to
why are they still
make sure.
waiting time?
Maybe they're trying to get the right coach for the team because it's very important to get the person who will come in and fit in well with the players. Because you can't just because you're in a hurry, you just go and settle for one coach who will not be able to blend these players together. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they are trying all their best to make sure they get the right man for the job. Because I mean, with the performance they had at the World Cup, fine, they didn't go beyond the first round. But I mean, they showed glimpses that they have the team. So the most important thing now is to get a right coach for them. So I believe that's why they are taking their time and find the earlier the better because the AFCON qualifier is just around the corner. So you want the coach to come in on time and be able to blend with the players so that they're able to achieve their goal.
Okay, so let's quickly talk about game 15 in the Bet Power Premier League in Ghana. Matches were played yesterday. Quickly, let's go through the results. You have King Faisal, they lost at home to Medema. We have Kotoku Royals, they defeated Bibana Gold Stars 3-2, and it went. And I think the sweetest thing was that Edwana Stars, they returned to the winning ways, were able to defeat Dreams away from home, and they are still holding on to their lead at the top of the table, though just 2 points now above Beckham United, and Asofok and Ashanti Kotoko are still breathing down their neck, James, very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know how long they were able to hold on. I think it's good that they were able to bounce back from the defeat and the last game. I mean, so they know that they have their work cut out. When you have two giants like Ashanti Kotoko and Asofok breathing down your neck. I mean, so I think maybe that's one of the motivation they will need to forge to forge. I know it's not going to be easy. So when you have these two giants breathing down your neck, so everybody wants the minus and the small teams to always do the unthinkable. So let's see how far this club will be able to hold on, because when you have Ashanti, the defending champions, and House of Folk that struggled earlier in the season, now they are getting their groove back. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe this will spur the leaders on to even do what nobody expected them to do, like winning the Ghanaian Premier League. So let's just keep our fingers crossed.
Okay, many thanks, James, for coming on the show. Yeah, thank you very much. Your wonderful analysis.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, so to our fans and viewers around the world, thank you once again for doing this together with us. So we'll see you next time. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this done next time, right in the studio of Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Until then, I remain Ashalulu Afemi. So we catch all of you. Bye for now. Watch out for the final of the CHAN 2022 CHAN this weekend. 40,000 fans are expected in that one in Algeria. So it's going to be a sweet one. We'll know the next champion of local African league, as they call it. So until then, we'll catch all of you. Bye for now.